welcome in to Coaches Banter, episode number 3. I have it listed as episode number 2. I'll fix that. But welcome in for the first time, the one, the only, the Coach O'Donnell. Welcome in, Coach. He
Yeah,
actually
hey,
recorded
Coach.
one episode with us, but I screwed that up. So, Coach, welcome in. What's going on, man?
Man, not much. Just living the life, getting ready for a couple more days, or I guess weeks of school before we get off on spring break.
Yes, sir, Coach. And I have to imagine that the rest of these guys that when we have them on, you're going to get some banter thrown your way tonight. I have a feeling that we're going to figure out what Coach's Banter is all about here
Yeah,
momentarily. So,
I brought the best. I'm ready.
oh, I hope you are, because I have a feeling it's coming in on you. For our first segment, we're going to have our weekly AHS Sports Recap, and we're going to bring in the one, the only AD Jarrett. What's going on?
Hey, what's up, guys? I just
Yeah.
first of all want to say thank you to Lydia O'Donnell for allowing Coach O'Donnell to join us. I appreciate you letting him out. Of bondage this week, so appreciate that.
Let's just
Yeah,
Coach,
I'm
hope
on
good
my
to, good to see
computer,
both of
so
you.
let's keep that to let's be a little bit quieter with that.
Oh, God, that's about right.
I I don't know if you noticed, Mr. Jarrett, but his it's really dark where he's at. I don't think he has the lights on. I think Lydia thinks he's
No,
in the bed. He's supposed to be asleep
he's
right now.
yes, he's in the attic right now. So yeah.
Oh, Mr. Jarrett, start us off. Where do you want to go first? What sport we want to talk about
Well,
first?
let's knock out a little baseball.
All right.
Varsity baseball specifically. Pretty dang good week for them. 3-1 for the week overall, so they move up to 8-6 overall for the season. Got things started off at West Limestone. Got a 12-2 win over them, so it's always a good county rivalry. Backed it up by their second win against Elkmont on Thursday, 11-7. One of those kind of little wet, little sloppy games, but good. Got a good win. Then they ended up splitting yesterday. Had rainouts Friday. They played Priceville and Sparkman yesterday. Got a 7-0 win against Priceville and lost 5-3. Close game though. Sparkman obviously a really good program. Lost a close one to them. I know Coach Kirkpatrick before we went live was saying just kind of first inning, I think they were a little nervous, and once they got that out of their system, they got back in the game. So, but overall, a great week for varsity baseball.
Yeah, no doubt. Another 7-8 loss to a really good team, but they know what they're doing, so
Yeah,
it's
no
all going to
doubt.
come around. Softball coach, they played Monday at West, and they lost to that one 5-1. They played Hayden. We'll talk,
Yeah.
and they were down going into the final inning. The wind was blowing out, and we gave up 2 3-run homers. And anyhow, we were down 8-6 in the last inning, and we flipped the lineup. So as a head coach, anytime you can flip the lineup in the last inning, you put all the pressure back on them. And then we were able to do
Sure.
that. And Ellie Riley hit a 3-run walk-off home run. Let me tell you a funny story. So my wife has been around softball for a long time. She won 2 state championships at Sparkman, played at Calhoun. Well, our one of our first years coaching together, we had a girl take the first pitch and hit it over the fence of the game. And she said, she started screaming and was all excited. And she said, "That's a walk-off home run." I said, "Honey, that ain't. That's just a home run." She didn't know what a walk-off home run was because it actually don't happen much. But if you
That's
see my
funny.
wife, ask her what a walk-off home run is. I think she
Yeah, I
knows
mean,
now.
well, like you said, to be around it as much as she has, that's pretty funny.
Yeah. No, yeah, that's pretty funny. Then they played, so they beat Hayden, which is a regional 5A team, and
Yeah,
Hayden finished second. No, they won it 2 years ago, right? Yeah, they
yeah,
won it.
that's right.
And then they played Vestavia Hills, which has Hayden's old coach,
Yeah,
and he is a softball. He's a pretty smart guy. They lost 3-1. Played a really good game and lost in the last inning. And then the last game, I can imagine you're pretty tired in that third game. And had some errors kind of accumulate early against in my opinion, will have a chance to win 4A Brooks Lions.
yeah,
And so that recapped their week. West is a really good 4A. Like they'll have a chance to get to the state tournament. And then they lost to a regional 5A team. I mean, they beat a regional 5A team and then lost to a really good Vestavia, which is 7A in Brooks. So they kind of went through what we did last year. We went to the same tournament, but it was Hoover hosting it last year. And Coach, we had to play Hewitt-Trussville, the number one team in 7A, and then we had to play some really good teams other than that. And when you go to those tournaments, you're playing for the end of the season, and they learn
Yeah.
some lessons, and they'll be better for it, just like we were last year. We went to the same tournament last year. We went 0-4. They went 1-3. So we've been there, done that. The girls know what to do with those losses, and they'll be fine.
Yeah, I think y'all played Hillcrest last year in that tournament, if I'm not mistaken.
We did, and we were not ready to play, and they were, and they smallywalked us.
Yeah. But no, like you said, I mean, you look at West Limestone and Brooks. I mean, two of the teams that, like you said, we both expect them to be in Oxford probably, and so that's two 4A powerhouses this year.
Yep.
And so, I mean, the bats have to get going. I mean, that's obvious. I mean, they did get going against Hayden. I actually talked to Ashlyn this morning, and she said, I mean, pitcher for Brooks, really good, one of the best that they'll face. But just, I mean, they know the bats have to get going, and so which is really weird because we thought going into it, okay, like we know you don't have Ella, the dominant pitcher, but pitching's been fine. I mean, Red has pitched fantastic.
Avery pitched well.
Avery's pitched well. Ainsley,
Brindley,
that's right. Brindley's shoulder is getting better and better. So pitching has been phenomenal. But the bats, which we thought, it is going to be the strength, and it's still going to be, but they've just got to get them going. So, so hopefully they'll get that turned around and get back on the right track. Got a great chance to do that this week. So,
what do they do this week? They just play Athens, and then they have a tournament in New Hope this weekend, I think.
That's right. Yep. So
baseball, what do they have this week? We didn't recap that, I don't think.
Let's see. Baseball.
Because you said Mr. Bryant. I mean, I'm sure everybody on the broadcast got his announcement today.
Oh my
3 minutes
stars!
Long.
Yes. Let's see. Let me
actually on Tuesday too against Giles County.
Oh, they are. I was going to say, because
right.
I've got to take. Yeah, good call. I've got to take our group. I got to take Ella Michael and our team, little 6U team, for youth night. And then we've got practice at 6, so we got a full night Tuesday. But you're right. They host Giles County on Tuesday. And then middle school plays JV, which we'll get to them here in a minute. But varsity and JV softball at Athens on Thursday. Baseball, just looking at the varsity, let's see. Looks like they're hosting West Limestone on Tuesday. They're at Randolph on Thursday. Hosting Randolph Friday. And then I know they're playing Saturday. No, they're actually not. Freshman is, but varsity's not playing. So 3 games this week for varsity baseball.
All right. Hey, it looks like pretty weather. We'll get to play this week, unlike
this past week. It was pretty rough. Baseball actually did an okay job of getting some games in. Soccer. Let's see. My notes here on nothing. My notes here is blank on soccer. Sorry, Coach Waddell, but 0. So soccer went 0-0 for the week. But
they didn't lose.
Yeah, but hey, that's right. They didn't lose. Hey, how about shout out to Coach Kirkpatrick, JV baseball. Gets a 4-0 win over West Limestone on Monday, 5-1 over Elkmont.
It's all coaching.
Thursday, and then 10-0 against Prosper yesterday. They moved to 7-1.
Hey,
on the season,
7-1. Fire Smitty Kirkpatrick. He is the man,
no doubt.
The living legend.
There's no doubt. Y'all ought to hire that JV coach.
JV coach.
No doubt. Let me tell you who they're not yelling to hire. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not going to say it. Let me just say this: freshman baseball falls a couple of close ones to Buckhorn, 4-0 and 7-5.
Hey, it's all coaching. Coach Wells, terrible.
No doubt. Coach Wells. But they go to 1-4-1. I always like to throw that in there because they did tie like a bunch of communists. One of the first games they played. How about 8th grade baseball getting another big win? They're 3-1 on the year. They beat Elkmont 9-1, and 7th grade baseball got beat on a walk-off hit. Caitlin will know what that means now. So they lost 7-6 Monday to Elkmont. So they dropped their first loss of the year to move to 2-1 on the year. So,
well, Coach Wells just joined in our green room over there. What was you saying about the freshman baseball coach? He's terrible. It needs to be fired. What was you saying? No, he can't defend himself. So.
That's right. He can't say anything. So we'll blame it on him for sure. Shout out to a track team. So we got our track got kicked off. We talked about it last Sunday. They were supposed to have their first track meet at Scottsboro on Friday. Obviously, everybody kind of saw the weather coming in, so we moved it to Thursday. They ended up going to the one at Frank Milton. They're in Huntsville. And had a couple groups placed. First of all, our 4x800 boys relay, which is Tyler Mooring, Will Ivy, Landon Hooks, Henry Singleton. They took home first. They took home the gold. So first
baby.
first place finish for them. So that's pretty cool. And then Addison Tiemann finished second in the 1600, which that's a mile. Y'all want to take a guess at her time? Let me ask you this: what would y'all's time be in the mile if you ran it right now?
Don't it average like a walk a 10-minute mile? So about 10 minutes.
The 10 minute. Coach O'Donnell, what you got?
I'd probably 8 or 9. Well, for her though, I bet about 5:30.
5:28. You're all over it. 5:28.
That's pretty good. That's really
I'll just
good.
tell you, I couldn't do that.
Yeah, she took home second. The winner was at 5:26. So
Oh,
if you're like me, my first thought was, hey, you couldn't run 2 seconds faster. I mean, what are we doing? Like, so
tell her
anyways,
her shoelaces untied or something.
something. My good. Speaking of that, hey, that's pretty funny. I need to ask her about that. So her shoes did come untied in the 800. So that's the half mile. She finished sixth, not but for her, not where she wants to be. But that was her first thing she said. Her shoes came untied. So of course you can imagine how Miss Morrow handled that. But yeah, good. Hey, and our throwers, she said, did really well. First meet for some of them, the first time they threw period ever. And so she said really good start for a lot of our track folks to the season. So.
Another funny. We had a football player with us at Hazel Green. We had a game we played over there at Milton Frank, and all week you couldn't really understand what he never said. Coach, we going Milton Frank with? And we thought he said Milton Frank. Well, finally I slowed him down and I said, "What are you saying?" He said, "Mr. Frank." I said, "No, it's not Mr. Frank Stadium. It's Milton Frank."
It could be. It could be.
But
that's good.
anyhow, all right, Coach. Is that all we got? Did golf do
Well,
anything?
golf, yeah, we got a little golf. We got 2 golfs actually, and I appreciate Coach South helping me out on the little score sheet here. So they played their first 18-hole tournament this week, which first of all, for the first 18 match of the year. Some of them first time they played 18 all year, and then the weather has not been perfect, real windy, little wet, and so. Boys didn't do great, but not awful. I mean, a couple, we had 3 guys keep it under 100, so that's good. We got a 4th one.
They almost did better than you did today, though. I mean,
hey, look, you're right. One of them did. One of them did. Y'all, I don't want to because it was so bad. I will say that I didn't finish last, thanks to Jody. But so when I got the text from Zerbal, he made it sound like they were DAL, which they were not. They ended up 8th out of 10, so they did knock off a couple teams, including West Limestone. So they, got room to grow, obviously, but not awful. Our girls, however, they did finish 4th, so not a bad start for them. Lainey Tarmelin led the way with a 99, Tipton 101, and a Mallory 104. So they're all 3 kind of were right there together. Like I said, first 18-hole match, they'll only go up from there.
Yeah.
But then a huge match Thursday, a little 9-hole match, actually a try match against Hazel Green and Clements, and we won. Got the dub 175 to 178 over Hazel Green. Clements, way more than that. They struggled a good bit. We'll just say that we won't throw a number, but hey, 175 is not bad. That's solid, including a 43 from 8th grader Jaden Dorning. So how about that?
He's like his daddy, man. I tell you.
He was. I know Coach South was talking about it, but he was giddy, which is I don't blame him. I was mad, and I had some choice words for him because I don't need an 8th grader coming in playing better than me.
Oh, he'd smoke you, no doubt.
Yeah, I mean, I could. Here's the thing, though, I could get in his head. You know what I mean? Like I could play the mind games and get him frustrated. So that's you got to use.
What was the movie about Adam Sandler's The Golfer? That's you, the old man that talks smack to
That's
kids.
right. That's right. You got to know how to do that.
No, the one that went back to school.
Billy Madison. Billy Madison.
Yeah, that's you.
Yeah. You got to. Well, you got to use your advantage. I mean, that's
Also, while we're talking about golf, when we leave that subject, a big shout out to the one and only Lee Hodges.
That's right.
Finished
Yeah.
big payday today. What did he end up shooting? Do
So,
anybody know?
let's see. He was at 3 under, so he shot even today. Excuse me. 3 birdies, 3 bogeys, even on the day. But that was good enough for tied for 12th. And took home a hefty 380 G's. So not bad.
That is more than we make in dang near a decade.
Yeah, that's a lot of years. Yeah, it takes a lot of years to pull that off. So not bad for a weekend.
He works a little harder than we do, but
Yeah, probably.
You wouldn't say that playing golf, would you? Well,
yeah, no, it's a grind.
Has golf got stuff this week and track this week?
So I'm gonna have to get on Mr. Bryant because he didn't put golf in the thing. Now track Fridays at Albertville. Most of their things until you get to sectionals and state for track, it's going to be on Fridays. But he did not throw golf on there, so we may have to let Coach South when he comes on here in a minute for the SEC stuff. We'll see what they got coming up. It's on my phone, but I know that'll throw me off if I look up that. So,
all right.
But we'll see what they've got coming up. So,
all right, OD, you got anything on the weekly recap, man?
No, just excited to hear a lot of our spring sports are getting dubs, track getting up started, golf still kind of rolling. So I'm assuming with softball and baseball that we'll have, I guess, area region plays starting up pretty soon.
Baseball's got to get started sooner than softball. Softball don't play their area games for a few weeks. So
yeah.
Yep. All right, moving on to the next topic, which I'm sure will bring some hotly contested debate. I don't know. Alabama stinks lately, so maybe not. I don't know. Let's talk some SEC basketball. And let's get our picks on the record, on the camera. We're not going to talk about March Madness just yet. We can talk about where possible seeding will be, but let's not talk about who we think will win the March Madness. AD Jarrett, before we kick you off, we're going to let you tell us your thoughts, man. Go for it.
Well, in a weird scenario yesterday for Bama, you come back and win a game against Arkansas, which you at the time thought, man, you got to have. Well, then looking at it now, if we lose, we're probably in a better spot to win in Nashville. But I know you don't want to lose on purpose. But I'm saying with Kentucky doing what they did, the road for Bama now looks like it's going to be probably Florida, Kentucky, and then Tennessee or Auburn. So like just a rough road to try to win another SEC title. But hey, I mean that's part of it. Sometimes you get a good draw, sometimes you don't. But I don't like Bama's chances. Rylan Griffin, I saw today that he may play Friday, but if I think Oates is probably going to play it smart and have him ready for the big tournament. I'm not saying he won't play, but I feel like they probably won't push it if they don't have to. But I mean, Bama's not trending in a good direction. But I tell you who is, and I want to throw up admitting this, but the Kentucky Wildcats, I think, have finally figured it out. Now, they're a weird team, though. That's because right. They're about like Bama. They can score on anybody, but their defense is not very good. They figured some stuff out against Tennessee. I mean, Connect still. Basically they said, look, we're going to try to get it out of Connect's hands. He's going to get his, but nobody else is, and they didn't. I mean, Connect scored 40, I think.
Yeah.
And nobody else did though, and so. I mean, but if you look at them, they've went into Auburn and won. The only team that's beat Auburn at home. They've went into Tennessee yesterday and won. They've got the most talent in the SEC.
By far.
But I mean, it just depends on what teams will show up. And the youth plays a factor. I mean, it just does. And so they would probably be my pick for Atlanta right now. I'm trying not to just base that off of one game yesterday. But I mean, I really like kind of what they've got going on.
Yeah. No doubt. And I was in the boat with you, rooting for Auburn or whatever to get a better. And I was actually rooting for what to happen because I didn't want to be where Alabama was, where it is.
Oh, yeah.
I don't want that. I don't want to play Florida. I don't want to play Kentucky.
No.
Tennessee's wore out. I want Tennessee. Give me some Tennessee
Yeah.
right now. They're tired.
Right.
And then let's
They
just be
are.
honest.
Yeah.
Everybody's better than South Carolina. South Carolina
Yes.
just has played really well.
Yeah, they have. And and they got some of the easier teams twice. And I'm not taking away anything from them. I mean, they 13-5 in the league is ridiculous.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Coach of the year.
But yeah, no doubt. But yeah, I mean they've they're not the same. I mean Auburn and Bama both beat them pretty bad. How about a little shout out to Waddell? I know he's on here, but what about the Vandy Commodores yesterday? Where did that come from?
Hey, I know what it is. I know exactly what it is. Every coach in the SEC gave a little money to Florida, saying, "Hey, let them beat you, so they'll keep Stackhouse, and we can ride this way."
That's a good point.
It's rigged.
That's a good point. Yeah, that's a good point.
Waddell texted me after the game and said, "I don't know whether to be mad or happy." Because
I think as a fan, you're not. As a fan, you're not happy. You're very confused right now, for sure. If you're a Vandy fan, which if you're a Vandy fan, you're already confused.
It is a real possibility that they beat Arkansas because Arkansas is flat terrible, and they upset South Carolina and make it to day 3 of the SEC tournament. It's a real possibility.
That'd be awesome, and then keep Stackhouse.
It would be fantastic. Waddell, man.
God, it'd be so good.
Yeah, he's tore up.
Oh,
he might officially.
He had this long paragraph he texted me out, and I was like, man, we were in the same boat a few years ago. Like, we could have brought Avery Johnson back, and we wouldn't have been happy, but we could have understood it. And Byrne kind of pulled the plug and got Oates, and we're better for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No doubt. So you're going with Kentucky, Coach?
I think right now you got to go Kentucky. I think it honestly pains me to say this. I want to throw up, but I think it's going to be Auburn and Kentucky in the championship game.
Yeah, I kind of agree with that. Yeah. Auburn is finding their groove right now, and I mean whether Pearl wants to admit it, Berman going down kind of helps us because that gives the minutes to somebody a little more capable of being a threat. And our point guard play right now is pretty good, so we'll see.
Yeah. But yeah, that's my pick.
But Alabama's got a tough road to haul, man. And we'll talk
they
about
do.
that in a minute, too.
Yeah, Florida's weird. I mean, they're really good. They do have to play a game on Thursday now, so it's so hard to win 4 games.
How
in a row.
big is that? Before you get off, how big is having to play multiple games in multiple days? I don't know that it's as big a deal as we make it out to be, because in AAU ball, these guys play 3 games a day, and they're like in the prime of their athletic career.
Yeah, they do, but I don't know how much defense is played in those AAU games sometimes. You know what I mean? And I'm being honest, and plus you got 10 or 12 guys that can all play. Usually, if you're on a good team, you've got some dudes, and so you kind of know, hey, I'm playing 2 or 3 games a day. I don't have to go 100% every game. And now all of a sudden you're playing on SEC level. You do. I mean, you have to play on both ends of the floor.
Yeah.
Depending on who you are, like a Mark Sears that never comes off the floor. That's tough.
And it's not as physical in AAU. It's
that's
SEC
right.
basketball.
Oh yeah.
Get some right now.
Yeah, I think it's a bigger deal because even look at the big tournament. You play, you get a day off. You know what I mean? Like you get that you never play more than that, and so. Yeah, the conference tournament setup is really tough. And so I think with the way Kentucky's going, their bench, they've got some stuff figured out with their bench guys. I hate Calipari, but I think they're going to take it pretty easily, to be honest with you.
They've got 2 top 10 picks, and they've kind of been showing out lately. So and Reed Shepherd and what's the other one?
Dillingham.
Yeah, Dillingham.
Yeah. So.
All right, Coach.
Well, yeah, that's it.
Well, we appreciate you being on. And this is not going to be a rainy week, so if you're an Ardmore fan or you're an Ardmore, come watch our kids. There's home games this week. If you don't know when, just call up to the school and they'll tell you when.
Tuesday night, youth night for softball, bringing out all the kiddos. So that's a cool night. So
it is a cool night. See all the little ones that'll be there shortly. All right, Coach, we appreciate you, man. And until next
All right,
time,
guys.
Tiger up, man.
All right, Tiger up. See y'all.
Yes, sir. All right. We'll be bringing in 3 special guests here momentarily. The one and only Coach Wells, the one and only Coach K, and Coach South will be all coming in for the SEC talk, along with the real cost of high school sports. So let's bring them in. Coach South, Coach K, Coach Wells. Looks like Coach South may be getting in trouble. We've been on too long. Anyways, what's going on, fellas?
Not much.
How's it going?
Yes, sir.
So,
Coach Wells, you I've been watching you, man. You still are you not over Alabama just yet? I mean, they won, man.
Hey, uh, they did win. It was ugly, but I'll take a win. But just going back to what was said while I was in the green room, I'll have to agree. The freshman baseball coach, which is yours truly right here, worst baseball coach in the state. I told the kids that on Thursday, and Coach K can confirm that I told them again on Friday that I'm working on getting a shirt that says "Dumbest Baseball Coach in America" right here. So that's me.
You're not getting the that team though. You're going to be the 9th grade coach forever.
Yes, sir. And Smitty's going to have a 9th grade team. I can tell you that much. He's going to have a 7th grade team, 8th grade team. I heard next year he's going to go 10th grade team, and then maybe a junior team. And he's going to have a senior team.
I tell you what. For Coach Smith, I'll line off a field and paint the outfield lines and chalk the batter's boxes any day of the week.
Mow the grass?
hey, we did it a lot yesterday.
Yes, sir, we did. Coach Smith actually purchased a reel mower, push reel mower, for the infield, and he's entrusted me to stripe the infield with it. So
That takes a lot.
I'm adding that to my resume now.
Yes, sir. I can stripe grass.
I might not can coach baseball, but I can cut the field.
we had a coach.
It's a job for everybody.
Yes, sir. We had a coach one time with me. He left practice and went and cut the game field one day. I was without a coach. I had to coach his position for a little while. We had to do teams. Anyways. All right, coaches, who wants to go first? Tell us your thoughts on the SEC tournament.
Who wants it?
You got it, Sal.
Well, I think it's going to be real interesting. May not be as interesting as the girls' game was today, but maybe there won't be any fights this week at the SEC tournament. But it's up in the air. I think there's a couple of different teams. I know Mr. Jarrett was on, and he was picking Kentucky, and I think they've, like you said, they've got it figured out. First part of the year, they weren't playing a whole lot of players. And now they've got the bench rolling, and they're getting a lot of contributions off the bench. So they're going to be a tough out, but can they do it for 3 days in a row? I don't know. And that's the thing. I mean, Alabama, I don't look for them to have a lot of success, as bad as I hate to say it, the way they're playing and not 100%. It was good getting Wrightsell Jr. back, but we're still not 100%, so it'll be tough for them to win 3 days in a row. That other team in the top half of the bracket, they are rolling right now, but how are they going to play 3 games in a row on the road? Are their guards going to be able to shoot up there?
He's talking about Auburn. If you don't know who the other team is,
yeah, that team. Yes,
yeah. But if anybody,
they are playing well.
But if anybody in the tournament has the depth to play 3 games, it would be.
Oh
Auburn.
Yeah, you're right. You're right, and they definitely have a good draw.
Yeah, we do. Best one.
Tennessee's not as polished going down the wire, but they're going to get some days off. And I know he was about to die last night, so he'll be well rested.
I ain't going to lie, Coach. I'd rather have Auburn's draw over Tennessee's. I'd rather play South Carolina, Mississippi State.
Oh, yeah. I've seen Mississippi State play in person, and they are physical, let me tell you, buddy.
Yeah, and they'll wear you out.
Yes. And that's going to take a toll on them. But I'm going to say Kentucky just because I feel like they are the hottest team right now. Now, if I pick them, that's almost a guarantee that they won't win it.
Pick them, please. I need Auburn win.
Yeah. Well,
I don't want to see Florida, but I think the upset alert is, and I'm gonna go against everybody else here, but I actually think A&M is the one team that could get Kentucky fits. They match up with Kentucky, in my opinion, better than anybody because they can slow the game down, and they have a coach that's willing to do that, and they can beat them to death, and they will get 1,000 offensive rebounds because that's what they do. But can they shoot well enough and score enough, which has been Texas A&M's problem? I don't know. I'm not saying Texas A&M beats them, but
Kentucky's going to score.
yeah. Well, Tennessee didn't let them score too much now. But this was just crossed my mind. Everybody, these refs, we've got to do something, man. This is awful. Like, it becomes unwatchable. I don't want to see 40 foul shots from each team. Like, I don't want to see you go to the review table 20 times. Like, literally, it was 12 the other game, Auburn against Auburn. Like, why? Like,
I love all referees,
especially the ones that come to Ardmore High School.
Yeah, we do that.
That's right.
We do. We love those.
We love the referees.
But why are they calling so many fouls? Why? Where did it come from? Why?
I think it's the mafia rigging games.
Vegas.
Italian Mafia.
That's it.
Out in Nashville.
I don't know if y'all have been seeing that stuff going on with the football stuff. That's where that's coming from.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The SEC, they're all rigged. Yeah.
That's it.
That's what they said, Mafia.
They're paying somebody from Bandy to rig a football game. Yeah.
The referees, man, there's no consistency with them.
None.
One game they'll let you have a bar fight. The next game you can't touch them, or that varies by half. The first half you might be able to mug somebody at the rim, and the second half you might be able to get tackled while you're, just standing there, and they call the foul on the bystander.
To me, it varies by what the game. If they feel they're losing control, oh my God, we're finna call everything.
Yeah, we've been to 2 games this year, and I can't figure out what's a foul. Because the game's so physical, and they just let you kill each other one trip, and then they call a hand check. It's what is a foul?
But y'all know that my favorite rule change this year is there ain't near as many charges. I love it. You can't camp under that basket, and I like it. So, Wells, what you got, man?
I'm going to take the Vanderbilt versus Missouri championship. I think the underdogs are going to roll. I'm just kidding. I will be in attendance Wednesday. I told Waddell last week that I'd be a Vanderbilt fan Wednesday, and I'm going to stick to that. They're playing Arkansas. I hate Musselman. I know O'Donnell loves him. He's a weirdo for that. Just one of the few things I have against O'Donnell at this moment is his fandom of Eric Musselman. But I do think that I do think Arkansas will win that one. I think Georgia wins the other game Wednesday night. I do think it'll be Auburn and Tennessee in the semifinal up top. And I do not think Alabama makes it to the semifinals. I'm going to echo what Mr. Jarrett said. I don't think that Rylan Griffin, if he does dress out and plays Friday, I don't think he'll play a large role just because Nate's going to try to get him healthy for the NCAA tournament. And Florida's already given us issues twice. I don't see us beating them without Rylan Griffin. Now, if Rylan does play and we have Reitzel like he was Saturday, I could see Alabama making a run and playing Kentucky. But I'm going to pick Kentucky over Auburn. Kentucky, like everybody said previous to me, they're figuring it out. There's a reason Calipari has a lifetime contract.
Hey, I don't mean to cut you off, but do you think pretty much we're locked into a 4? Y'all think that, or you guys think we need to win one to at least stay on the 4 line and can we go up to a 3?
I think if Alabama or Auburn win the tournament, they'll go to a 3. Otherwise, they're both at 4.
Yeah, I agree.
I probably, if that's the case, I probably wouldn't even play Griffin. I'd probably get him healthy.
I think Kentucky's the same boat. Whoever wins between Auburn, Alabama, and Kentucky, if they win the tournament, will be a 3.
I think if Alabama got blown out by Florida, they could drop to a 5.
I could see that.
I
Just
don't. I
because there's
just
so
don't know.
much.
Edu, I don't know if they would or not.
It depends on how
that's
much
true.
stock they put into how they played lately. I don't know that.
Yeah, that's the thing. They've looked bad. Which I get. After the Tennessee loss, you're playing for a regular season championship, and it kind of takes the wind out of you. But if you want to compete for championships, you got to be able to be resilient and bounce back from a loss. And right now, Alabama's just kind of, they kind of powdered about it a little bit. Florida embarrassed them, and Arkansas might should have deserved to win the game.
Yeah.
I know Musselman was not happy with that last possession. And,
Oh my gosh, that was awful.
is that Charlie?
Whose dog is that? That's Wales' dog or O'Donnell?
That's O'Donnell's, man. My dogs are sleeping. Don't slander my dogs like that.
Oh man.
Lydia just realized he's awake.
Yeah, he said 1 minute, so we got to hurry up.
Oh, this ain't good.
O'Donnell, who you got?
Not good.
Put him on the spot.
I mean, I don't know. I would say Kentucky, but since Kentucky beat Tennessee yesterday, I think it'll be Tennessee and Kentucky, and I think Tennessee will beat them. Just kind of being a little bit different than everybody else. Kentucky is rolling though. I mean, they're kind of figuring it out. My dad's a big Kentucky fan, and when he really had it rolling from about when he first got there till about, I guess, 2018. This was about the time that, again, playing with a lot of freshmen, he called it a tweak. And this was about the time they really started playing their best ball. So I'll say them in Tennessee, kind of chalk and have them in the finals and Tennessee beating them. I do think Arkansas will make it all the way to Friday and play Auburn. I do think Auburn will beat Arkansas, but I think Arkansas will make a little bit of a run. But yeah, I'll say Tennessee taking out Kentucky. I guess that's my Musselman love for the night. I'm going to have them get into Friday.
Coach, Arkansas is terrible.
They are, but I'm just going to be a little different. But if I had to say my one upset, I guess that's what it would be. But I think Alabama will definitely come out, and they'll play Florida, but I think they'll beat Florida this time. So I know we're all kind of panicked with how they played lately, but I'll have them beating Florida, and then I guess Kentucky beating us to make it to the finals.
Hey, O'Donnell, just got a picture of Musselman sent to me. I don't know if y'all can see that very well, but.
Clown.
Kirkpatrick, who you got?
I think, like somebody mentioned earlier, Tennessee being tired, I think wore out over this last little stretch they had. I think that'll help this next, almost a week off. Will help them, propel them probably to the championship game. I don't agree with O'Donnell. Arkansas's terrible, like y'all all said.
Can we get the chant from Waddell? Vandy.
I think Vandy does it. They're going to ride the momentum of beating Florida and then get handled by South Carolina. But
they're going to get slapped after it Wednesday, though.
Slap after it. They're keeping Stackhouse. That's the whole thing there.
What's the over-under of fans in the gym on Wednesday night? 1,000?
Hey, here we go again with this guy and over-unders.
Okay. He's all in on an over-under. Wells, why don't you count them on Wednesday and come back? We'll let O'Donnell, place his side bets after the podcast goes off, and we'll see who can come out winning that.
That sounds good.
I do.
Go ahead.
I do think, like Coach South said earlier, Mississippi State, they're big, they're physical. Hubbard kid can shoot the lights out of it. It wouldn't shock me if Mississippi State makes a little bit of a run just with how physical they are and that they can shoot. In the bottom half, I like to agree with O'Donnell. I think Nate Oates does a really good job with getting the team ready to play in the tournament. I think piggybacking off what Wales said too about, you play Tennessee, you get beat, you're no longer playing for the regular season champion anymore. It kind of takes it out of you. And that's kind of what we saw with this team all year. They're not very mentally tough at times, so I think that probably plays a role into it. I think it's Alabama, Kentucky in the semi, and I think Kentucky wins. But
I got one stat for you, though, Coach K. Nate Oates has never lost in Nashville as Alabama's coach.
Has he only played Vandy?
Hey, you know what? If we're going to throw out that stat, give me the Tide by 90.
Both SEC tournament titles have come in Nashville.
I didn't know that.
His only SEC
There's
tournament
no
loss came in Tampa.
something like
Nashville Nate.
Hey, then
First
I
year
will
was
be a
COVID.
homer. I'll be a homer then. I'll take the stat line of Nate's never lost in Nashville. Give me the Tide by 90 in Nashville.
I think the first
Jump
year
it up
was,
to a 3 seed in the tournament.
I think the first year was St. Louis.
All right,
Hold on.
Roll Tide Willie, tell us what you
Okay. So St. Louis, COVID, and then won the rest of them.
Well, he lost the one with in Tampa.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Kirkpatrick,
And that's where it's going back next year, right?
yeah,
I believe so.
I think so.
I got a question for you guys, though. If we're picking somebody that's not in the top 4, all right, let's look at the games on Thursday. Who could you see out of that group making it to Sunday?
A&M is my pick to win it if it's not somebody in the top 4. Or top 5. We'll include South Carolina in the top 4.
If I'm Tennessee, I'm not happy about having to play the winner of that Mississippi State LSU game because Mississippi State did beat Tennessee earlier in the year at the hump.
Yeah.
Which,
Beat Auburn.
I mean, I know
too.
I know it's a home game, but Mississippi State can match Tennessee's physicality.
Yes, they can.
We talked about it yesterday at the baseball games. Mississippi State, not bad. Like they have a
How many
real
games
shot.
do they got to win in this
Make a run.
to get in the tournament, you think?
Mississippi State, I think they're in right now as the last 4.
Yeah, they got them at like a 10, I think, right now.
Okay.
I don't think South Carolina can get there just because they're kind of fraudulent.
Yeah, they can't.
Who would you rather see least, A&M or Mississippi State?
Mississippi State.
Mississippi State.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
See, for Auburn, I think A&M's the worst matchup because they can out-rebound us. So,
You don't think Mississippi State can?
No, we out-rebounded them. It's because
Them
A&M's guards rebound so well, and our guards don't.
When we went and watched Mississippi State and Alabama did beat them by 30, but Mississippi State was massive.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, they have the biggest shoulders, widest shoulders I've ever seen, and that's going to give. I mean, I like that. That's the way they shoot it.
But that don't bother. If I'm Auburn, that don't bother me because I've got bigs. We're okay with that. It's just our guards suck it. And so I'm going with A&M. That sounds like you're going with State if it's outside top 4.
The real loser in all this is would be my wallet because I was planning on going up there, and I'm still going to try to go if Alabama beats Kentucky. Or
did Lydia okay that yet, or are you just
this guy has said the
wishful
last 2 years that he's going to Nashville to watch the SEC tournament, and it ain't happened yet.
Hey, even if she says he can go, he won't go.
I'm gonna tell you all.
That's true. That's very true.
Wales' dog has a better chance of not running the door tonight than O'Donnell going to the tournament.
Hey,
She already ran into the door about 5 times tonight, boys.
I got another question. We brought up Missouri earlier. Who has a chance to break the losing streak first, the Missouri Tigers or the Ardmore Varsity Tigers? Basketball Tigers.
Ardmore.
Hey,
Oh, is that
Missouri's
right?
playing well now. I mean, I know they're losing, but they're playing well for
Well,
3/4 of the game.
the
They
other
might
day
win.
when Auburn played them,
Hey guys, they're losing, but they're playing good.
hey, Missouri didn't quit.
I think
like
I've heard
that
O'Donnell
statement,
say
Sal.
that before.
Oh man.
Hey, we didn't quit because Missouri didn't quit the other day.
I won't give you the same sign I gave when we started this podcast.
I'm going to use that if I ever apply for jobs and people look at my resume and go, Coach, in your stint at this school for 2 years, y'all got beat like a drum. I'm like, we got beat like a drum, but we were playing good.
Define playing good. Well, no, that's I'm gonna still say the Ardmore Tigers, but Missouri, I don't see them beating Georgia. But
I like that big guy from Georgia. He's a little bit of a turd, but he's pretty good. All right, my pick, guys. I'm Auburn all the way. Auburn has the depth. I know our guards have to play good. I get it, but I mean, I think Auburn and Kentucky have the best shots to win it. I think those are the two teams that have the best shot to win the whole NCAA tournament. Not that neither one can, because I don't know if Auburn's guards can play good enough for that many games in a row. I don't know if Kentucky can defend that many games in a row, but I think those two teams are set up the best out of the SEC. I think Alabama could actually beat Kentucky in the tournament, but I just don't think Alabama can do it legitimately against 5 teams with big guys in the NCAA tournament. I know we're not talking about that, but I do think Alabama could actually beat Kentucky in the SEC tournament. And if Alabama beats Florida, I'm tempted to pick Alabama in the championship because I think y'all match up with Kentucky better than anybody else, to be honest. Because you can play their game, and if you make more shots, be better at it than they are that night. But I think Auburn has the easiest draw, so I think Auburn get to the championship. Should happen in my opinion. It may not because anything can happen. And in the bottom, I think Missouri does. I think Missouri loses to Georgia. I think Florida beats Georgia. I think, man, I hate to say Alabama. I'm gonna go with Alabama beats Florida. I'm gonna go with A&M beats Ole Miss. I'm gonna go with A&M beats Kentucky, and I'm gonna go with A&M to the championship and playing Auburn. And I think Auburn wins the championship. I'm a huge Buzz fan. Coach, I think Buzz is figuring some things out late.
they're not in right now, are they?
No, they know that.
So they probably really need to win
They need to
Thursday and Friday probably to get in, wouldn't they?
Yep. And
Is Buzz going to get that suit cleaned and that 5-piece suit ready for that many days? How many suits has he taken to Nashville?
He needs.
And they're a lot. They're like this every year. They're just kind of always on the bubble. And wasn't one of the years he's been there? Didn't they make a run? Maybe not to the championship, but didn't as like a lower seed? Didn't they make it to at least to Saturday? I feel like.
Seems like.
I feel like they've done that, since he's been there. But they're a weird, they're a weird team. I'd like to see them get in because that would probably give us, 8, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
They'd be the 8th team.
When the basketball starts getting to this time, the teams that don't always can score a ton, that's been A&M's problems, they can't score a ton, is when the defense is played, they play defense. And when rebounding matters, they're the best offensive rebounding team in the country. They can do those things. And the scores aren't always going to be in the 80s and 90s now that we're in tournament time. Butts get tight. You don't shoot as well, those type of things. And I think this is – and Buzz has tough kids. They just aren't as talented as some other people. So I think now's their time. But Kentucky's really good, man. So I hate to doubt Kentucky, but I think John Calipari is overrated. So
How about this? So I don't know which group message it was in, but I had a pretty good hot take about the time Kentucky made their run last night, and I said I think the Ardmore Tigers handle full court pressure better than Kentucky does. And South, before I could even really get it sent, South sit back, not at all, no. I mean, just like that. He's like, no.
I remember looking at that text message while I was at the baseball field.
What about?
If y'all don't know, me and Coach K spent the entire day at the baseball field yesterday.
Yeah.
Somebody had to
coaches do, man.
Y'all get
Do
paid
what?
a lot. We're gonna talk
Somebody
about
had
that.
to have had their phone out or something following some of these games.
We had the TV
we
going,
locked-
buddy. What are you talking about?
Oh, nice.
Don't listen to him. We were locked in on baseball all day.
Yeah.
We got the field ready a lot. Pulled the tar. I mean, it was a day of it, buddy.
All right, last thing. So we all kind of agree that Tennessee may fizzle out. They're tired.
I wouldn't.
What? Okay.
I think this rest is going to do them good.
You do?
As long as they got Dalton Connect, buddy.
Yeah, but that's
I ain't counting them out.
But I think people's going to do what Kentucky did and Auburn tried to do is make him beat you and don't let the other ones, except when Auburn played him, the point guard got hot. Yeah, don't let him get hot, too. So, we'll see.
I think they score enough. I think Connect, they're going to let him get whatever and not let the others beat him, but the others will get enough to beat you. If he gets 40, I mean, the other guys get 20 or 30, they can hold you to under 60.
Yeah.
The way they play defense. That's my opinion.
Yep. I don't think anybody can keep him under 30 right now.
He's
for the game.
He's feeling it. South Carolina did. Didn't they hold him to like 16 or something?
Yeah, but they've gone through a stretch right here. They've been they're fixing to get a full week off, and I don't care when he wants to take over. He can take over.
He's good. So I think Tennessee in the tournament will be a 1 seed. I don't really care what happens. I think Kentucky's a 3 seed if they win it. If not, they're a 4 seed. Alabama, Auburn, and Kentucky all in that same boat. Guys, what's Alabama's record? 21-10, 22-11. What is it?
21-10, I believe.
Y'all know 6 years ago in the SEC, you were on the bubble with that record. Like, I know y'all's schedule's really tough, but that's just crazy how far things have come. You can get that many good wins in tournament play because y'all are what, roughly 9-5 coming into the SEC schedule, something like that.
Wasn't good.
Yeah.
If we can get State and A&M in, we'll probably have the most bids of any conference, and then we'd be tied if we got one of the two of those. Yeah. So that's really, really good.
Florida's a 6-7 seed, and South Carolina's about in the same boat. And if you can get State and A&M in, pretty good.
Used to we couldn't get 4 in.
Yeah, it was Kentucky and maybe one more for a top 5 seed, and the rest of us were hoping to be the last 4 in.
Yeah.
Yep. Times have changed, which is good. All right.
Hey, before we go, shout out to Buckeyes. They got to win. If they win tomorrow night, they're in the big dance.
Who?
So,
big game tomorrow.
Sanford.
Oh yeah, don't want to play them in the tournament. I'm sure we'll talk.
Yeah, the freshman baseball team plays West Morgan tomorrow. Big game.
Who does?
Oh, is that what you were talking about? Freshman baseball team.
Freshman baseball doubleheader.
Oh, they played Fighting Rebels?
Yes, sir.
In Trinity or at Ardmore?
Oh, we're in Ardmore.
Oh, okay. I may get to go see Kirkpatrick's statue at West Morgan.
Is it between yours and Mr. Bryant's?
No, me and Mr. Bryant didn't get one, so it's just his.
Gotcha.
So, all right.
Did Indiana State win today?
No, they got beat by Drake.
No, Drake beat them.
Okay, well, I knew I was part of it. And
that was a really good tournament.
So they getting in or no?
They're gonna need some help.
I think they'll get in.
O'Donnell's rooting for them.
I am. I'm rooting for them.
All right. last subject of the night, because we ain't going as long tonight. O'Donnell's on time constraints. And if O'Donnell just disappears off your screen, excuse that. Maybe he'll be back. All right. Last topic, the cost of high school sports. So what brought this kind of up is two different things. I don't know if y'all saw where Florida's lawmakers are trying to pass a law in Florida where their coaches had to be paid at least minimum wage for the amount of hours they worked. And the lawmakers said on average, high school coaches, the minimum they can make, not on average, the minimum as a head football coach was about 22 grand. And for an assistant, the minimum was over 10 grand because coaches work a lot of hours. That's what brought the whole discussion on. We're going to talk about a lot of that.
I mean,
What was the freshman baseball minimum?
I don't know. We're not going to talk about how much we're underpaid, but we knew what we signed up for. But anyways, so that got us on the debate of cost in high school sports. So let's just talk softball at Ardmore because that's the sport I know. Last year, as the head coach, we spent over $45,000 over the course of our softball season. That's softball. That is a spring sport. Over $45,000. So I know it's annoying for us to ask for money all the time, but y'all go ahead and tell all the people out there how much our county gives us for athletics. 0. We get not $1 from our county. They pay our coaches supplement, and that's it. And the only people that have good coaches supplements are those two guys. Well, I can't get my fingers just right. Yeah, those guys. Yeah, they have good supplements. The rest of us on the screen, know so much. But anyways, it costs a lot to run a program. I know a football program of Ardmore size can generally run about $70,000 to $80,000. When I was at Hazel Green, which is a large 6A program, we were running over $120,000 every year spent. So it takes a ton of. Now we had 90 players. That was different, just on varsity. But it's a lot of money to run a high school program. Basketball, like what are we thinking there, guys? Like what thoughts on the cost of high school sport? And it's only getting higher because prices are going higher, but people are getting madder because we keep asking for more money, but prices are going up. So what's the solution?
it was 12 grand this year alone for officials for the games we hosted at Ardmore.
Wow.
Heck,
I
it
mean,
was
that gets you a little bit of
$3
total.
grand. It was $3 grand just for our Christmas tournament.
That's 15 grand in officials and nothing else.
Right.
And that's insanity. I don't know how much soccer is, what they'll be able to tell us, but football's a ton. And look, we don't make enough off gate, and we don't even come close. So the debate is, I know in Madison County, I know they're larger high schools, so I get it. But those spring sports, and then I'll get to football in a second. Those spring sports charge their players or make them raise, over $1,000 to play because it costs so much to play, so much. For example, if we did that in softball last year, I didn't have 45 players, so we wouldn't have made enough. So you have to find ways to raise your revenue. And one of the big expenses in football and in spring sports, not in basketball, hang on, y'all talk about that in a second because you do have a big expense, is field maintenance. Like, Wells, how much do you think that real mower that he just bought costs? Probably the push one.
I think he said it was $1,800.
And then he's got a $6,000.
That's a used one. It's like a 2001 model.
Yeah, then he's got a $6,000 real mower for the outfit. That's just in mowing equipment. And then, I know rye seed that Smitty had to put out last year. I don't know about this year. Last year for him was over $6,000 to put grass out so it's not dead and dormant and look like doo-doo. So there's so many expenses that they have. And football puts rye seed out. You got to, the water bill is crazy. As crazy as it sounds, softball and baseball have to pay their own water and their own electricity in our county. And the electricity bill can be $500-$600 a month during the season.
I believe football does as well.
Football does as well. Yeah, I forgot about them. Yeah, so basketball, hey, they ain't got to. Don't worry about them.
They got to pay for the gym floor to be refinished, though.
They do. Yeah. Basketball
About
does not
40
have
grand when that happens.
basketball does not have as many expenses. That's why you're not going to hear them fuss a whole lot. They know they have it made. So golf, Coach South. Like, if y'all didn't have somebody step in and help you this year, like, kids would have had to basically pay to play, wouldn't they?
Yeah, it usually around. I think in the past, I know Coach Zerbal's been doing it past couple of years. I think it's around $300, $400. But they also have to spend money on all their equipment. You know, golf balls and the way some of them hit. Some have to spend more on golf balls than others to replace them.
Not everybody can be good at golf, Coach.
You know, clubs alone are unreal today.
No.
So they have to pay a lot on their own. You know, we don't have to pay for any field maintenance. You know, all that stuff. So ours is just basically for green fees, tournament entry fees. This year it would have been a little more cost for them because we are planning more tournaments. So trying to get postseason ready. So it probably would have cost the kids $500 this year.
Yeah, and I don't want to talk for Coach Snyder, but I know Coach Snyder's been stressed almost because we have to raise so much money for football, and it's like, how am I going to do this? Like, how? Because people are tired of me asking for money. So how do I raise enough money? Because here was my thing in softball, and I know this is y'all's thing in everywhere in our sports is I'm going to make sure my kids have whatever they need to be successful. I'm going to make sure they have the best that I can possibly get them because that's what I would want for my own child that's playing. And we love these kids as our own. And so it costs a lot of money to do that. So what is the answer? So how because it's not going to get any easier. Is somebody going to win the lottery? Because Coach O'Donnell keeps going to Tennessee for some reason. I don't know why.
Lottery tickets, man.
Oh, okay. What's the solution? Go ahead.
I was just going to say, I know I talked with another coach in the county, and he said, like, his concession, he did it last year, what they profited versus this year. And last year it was like around $10,000 they profited just on concession. And this year it was down to like right at $4,000. So they lost $6,000 and they sold the exact same things. So it's same price, whatever. But with the cost of everything else going up, we have to change something to where, number one, in the concession stand, everything's got to go up. The gate, this $5 a person to get in, that it takes a lot of people to break even on a night. You talk about the cost of officials, it's $85 per official in a varsity game times 2 games. So you're talking $160 times 3, $170 times 3.
You're not a math teacher.
It racks up. I'm not a math teacher, but it racks up quickly. So I know one thing in baseball they've done to kind of lower the price is they put time limits on all the games that are or that are sub varsity. So if you do a 5-inning game at an hour and a half, it's like $10, $15 cheaper per official versus a 2-hour 7-inning game. Most of your coaches
Great rule,
around
by the
here
way.
are doing that.
Great rule.
It's most of your coaches around here are going to that 5-inning game, hour and a half, just because it's saving you $30 per game. So, and I know why they keep raising the price of officials because people keep yelling and screaming at them all the time. They don't want to come out and do it, so you're trying to pay them more to get them to come out and do it. But it's I mean, I think eventually it's going to hurt a lot of your smaller schools they're going to really have to cut back on the number of sports they have, what they offer. I think the first sport you're going to see really take a toll on is probably soccer. Maybe then volleyball, baseball, and softball will hang around just because they're more traditional sports in the South, I would say. But I think the time's coming where the smaller schools are really, really going to struggle. And even, at a large school, it sucks at times, but I have no idea what the answer is.
I've
Well, you
always
got
been
Go ahead.
I've always been for, trying to keep price of admission as low as possible to get the people in the gate to spend money, because you get them to the game, they're going to spend money at the concession stand. But with the losses that are being taken in the concession stand, with prices going up, our cost of it, not to the fans, but $5 to get into a varsity basketball game in Limestone County is probably as cheap as you're going to find anywhere in North Alabama.
No doubt.
You go to some of these places, it's $7, $8, $10 to get in. I don't want to do that because I feel sorry for those families. You get parents that have a kid play and they've got two other siblings. Well, it's $20 to get in the game.
Yeah.
Then you're going to spend $25 or $30 at the concession stand.
Yeah.
So it's it's going to hurt all sports, like you said. And I think those smaller sports are going to be hurt, first.
Yeah. What'd you have, Wells?
I was just going to say you've already got schools around. Not many, but you've got some 1A schools. I think of Belgreen. I don't think has football.
They do now.
Skyline
They
doesn't.
just got
They
it.
do now.
But let me
Skyline
tell you
doesn't.
why Belgreen has football. I don't think you can go to Skyline. Belgreen has football because one of the Tiffin's sons goes there, and he built them a turf field with an agreement that they would have a football team. So they have actually a turf field, and they have a turf baseball field.
That probably helps. I know Skyline doesn't have a football team.
Yeah. Athens Bible don't. Lindsay Lane don't. Lindsay Lane's trying. I think small 1As are a thing of the past in the future. I just think as prices go up, as building schools and maintaining schools, I think they just are going to go away. That's just what I think. So, I know our parents at Ardmore really don't like it because it's not been a thing, and I know a lot of parents don't like it. But I think the only answer for us is to basically charge players. We're not charging them; we're letting you fundraise it, but because if we don't hold kids accountable for fundraising, there are kids that won't do a darn thing to help us financially. And so I think as coaches, we've kind of got to a point where we have to hold you accountable with fundraising. So basically, we say, hey, you got a $500-$600 fee. I'll give you 7 opportunities to fundraise it. If you don't, you're just gonna write us a check. And I know parents. Go ahead.
I think the hard part about that is, you look at all of our sports at Ardmore, the amount of parents that have multiple kids that play sports.
Yep.
And that starts adding up on them.
It is. But
you got the same kid that plays football, basketball, baseball. Their sister plays volleyball, softball, basketball. That adds up on the parents.
Yeah, no doubt. I get it. And it's going to add up on me. I've got kids coming. It's Kirkpatrick. Speaking of kids, Coach Kirkpatrick, you've got another one on the way, and Facebook World got told what it was today. What is it?
I'm having a little girl. She'll be here hopefully by August 21st.
Okay.
Evelyn Grace, and we're going to call her Evie Grace. So
all right,
we're fired up and excited.
Yeah.
It'll be a good time learning how to be a girl dad.
Yeah. Hey, it's a unique change, man. You better get ready. Me and Coach South and O'Donnell can tell you it's a life changer. But I do just want to warn you publicly, be careful, because 3 could be sneaking around that corner. I've been there, done that, buddy. They come before you know it, and then when 3rd one gets here, life changes. Congratulations, Coach. A girl does change.
I appreciate it.
I didn't. My wife is still. She'll tell everybody when we found out that our second one was a girl, which is Rawlings, which is now Daddy's girl. But anyways, when we found out she was a girl, me and Easton, my wife, will never forget the look on our face because we were not happy that we were not getting a boy. But God has a way of working it. So.
I've had several days to process it. It's I'm coming around.
Yes, sir.
I want to go back to a topic you were talking about, field maintenance.
Okay.
We went to Decatur a couple weeks ago play, and they just got all new turf baseball field. You think about everything that you immediately can get rid of or never have to buy or do again when you get a turf field, like all the way down to you sell your rakes and brooms. Like, I mean, you sell mowers, you never have to overseed, no chalk machine, no paint. I mean, it's just no extra clay to put in the mound or whatever.
Yeah.
That's at what point is it worth it to get turf over what you are already paying, or just turf half your field so you cut that cost maybe in half?
I think
The second you got
Go ahead.
to the tamp, you would miss having a natural playing surface. You would want to tamp the clay back into the mound and the batter's boxes. I mean,
Ain't no shot. I've tamped out. I raked the whole both baselines and home plate 100 times yesterday.
you did a dang good job too.
I think I
I
saw
appreciate it. You did a great job laying the chalk down. Those lines were straight as can be.
I'll do
He's
what
a
I
good
can.
chalk liner. I think
I heard
Everybody has
Coach
to
Sparkman wouldn't let
provide
you do
value.
it when you helped him with softball.
Well, number
Was he?
one, Coach Ball set up me and Sparkman for failure by buying the smallest chalk machine known to man. I think it would hold a quarter of a bag of chalk. You could chalk half of a batter's box and refill it and chalk the other half. So it was a pretty tiny chalker.
Yeah. Well,
Smitty's got us hooked up.
he thought he
The
was
best
buying the
times
bigger one, but he couldn't see right. So
the best time that me and Sparkman had was when we went to the Ardmore, Tennessee park to get those fields ready for the old middle school softball bash.
Yeah, that was a good time. 3 fields.
Great time.
Yeah. And it was like
With the
sand.
small chalker?
No, it was sand too. So we were chalking sand.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah. It was
With
good.
the
And we had
small
to place
chalker,
the.
Yeah.
Yes, we had to place the. We had to put in all the pitching rubbers and everything.
Yeah, I think we had to replace like the square peg that the first base went in on one of the fields.
We did.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey,
Good
it
times.
was great. It was a great time.
Great learning experience.
It was.
No wonder y'all got
Bonding,
out
too.
all day to do that.
And we barely got done. Hey,
We got closer after that.
We did. We bonded. I think I read something that a football field pays for itself after 8 years. And that's because turf has dropped so much. I mean, turf is getting where you can buy it without. It was before COVID and everything went up. But not only does it save you all those costs you were talking about, Coach K, y'all estimate. Okay, I know Smitty is crazy about his grass, but how much time does Smitty spend at that baseball field working on that grass and dirt?
He was up here again tonight cutting it before I come up here. When I
What
was
about
on
the
my way
off season? So you have to cut it all year. Like, I mean, in football right now, Coach Snyder's having to cut the football field. Like, it's a year-round process. And
he spends more time on it, of course, during the season. I would say every Sunday he's up here cutting it. Anytime we practice and he can get on it after practice, he cuts it. He cuts more designs in it during the year. During the off season, it's more just getting it cut as quickly as possible.
Yeah.
But I would, to make what he makes, he needs some kind of supplement for field maintenance.
So
You ain't lying.
we'll talk supplements. I don't want to throw the basketball coaches under the bus, but I know the softball coach spent as much, if not more, time in his sport than you did in basketball. Softball and baseball coaches in our county make $4,500 plus 7 days, so it ruffles out to about $6,000 plus or less, couple hundred. basketball coaches make the same as football coaches in our county. We're going to leave that undisclosed amount. It's a lot more than 6,000. So I know that Coach Schmidt is underpaid, but as coaches, we don't do it for the money. We do it because we want to take pride, and he takes pride in that baseball field. And when you know, and that softball field's the same way at Ardmore. There's pride in that field, and a lot of hard work has been poured into that. And there's really no cost that can, it really doesn't matter. You're going to do it the right way, and that's what makes Ardmore special. I know we're not talking about Ardmore, but that's what makes Ardmore special. All of you coaches out there, and the Ardmore people are going to do it the right way, no matter the benefits. Just like that $45,000 I told you we spent in softball, we found a way to do it because that's the way it's going to happen, and that's what teams do. That's what people do is they find a way. But at some point, there's going to be a breaking point. And I don't know where it's at because prices in our country continue to go up and people don't want to spend money. So I don't know where that breaking point's at. But I do want to encourage you out there that if somebody asks you for money from the school in a sport, please don't look at us and snob your nose. We don't want to ask you no more than you want to give it. We'd prefer not to have to ask you for a penny. If somebody wanted to give us $1 million, I shouldn't say it. If somebody wanted to give us a lot of money for our sports, then like $1 million, I don't know who would have that. Actually, I do, but anyways, they wanted to give that to our sports, we would appreciate it because we don't want to ask people for money no more than you want to give it, but we have to. And for the sports that charge players a fee, we don't want to charge them at all. We would rather your kid play for free, but that's not the reality of the world we live in. Things cost money, and it's just the way it is. There's no way to sugarcoat it. Well, Coach, why don't you get out there and find a way to fundraise? Well, what do you want me to do? We live in Ardmore.
It's a lot of donuts to sell.
Yeah, because we're
It's coming up, by the way, if you want donuts.
where these bigger schools such as Bob Jones or Hazel Green or whatever, James Clemens, they have all these huge organizations within their city and they have over 1,000 kids in their school that their parents own a lot of businesses that are big businesses that do this advertisement, where our kids, we got local mom and pops, and they have, their shop and they'll sell us a sign.
That we're running dry. I mean,
yeah, because that's right.
They get tired of, they're going to keep doing it because that's the kind of people they are in this community. But if you really got down to it and ask them, they're getting tired of, it's $100 here, $150 here, $500, $1,000, whatever, over and over and over. Like it gets old to them too.
How many businesses do we have in Ardmore that have a sign on the football field, baseball field, maybe softball field, on the basketball, on the Jumbotron?
I would venture to say that 50% of the signs that you see on the football field have a softball and baseball sign.
Mm-hmm. As well, that's probably a basketball ad.
Yeah. I would bet it's the same. And I'm here to apologize for our coaches, but we don't have an answer. Like we've discussed this, and there's no easy answer for us because the cost of high school sports is crazy high, and there's just no easy answer to solve it unless somebody wins the lottery. So
Glad O'Donnell keeps going to Tennessee.
Yeah,
maybe we'll get there.
Maybe I'll hit it.
Yeah,
the lottery.
But if I hit it, y'all won't see me again.
Will you at least pay for our sports for a few years?
Yeah.
He's staying in his head. Nope, no shot.
Well, just make sure you don't give Athens any either, because I know they have a special.
I will. Nope.
All right.
Hey, real quick, this is a little bit of breaking news that I got today, and Kirkpatrick, you may have got it as well from the AABC. Did you see that email?
About the shot clock.
The AHC, y'all getting beer together?
It's the Alabama Association of Basketball Coaches, not the no alcohol involved with this one.
Oh, my bad.
But they met last week in Montgomery, and they passed the shot clock. And so now it's kind of going to where
another expense to high school
Well,
sports.
It is.
So they did say on this, and I'm kind of reading the email, so that's why my eyes. It says it'd be a 2-year trial period, kind of how Georgia did it, and then they're working on finding a collective to pay for it, so that I guess the installation costs, the
Got that
purchasing of
happens.
it, all that will be paid for. But it is in the works, and they've told us to tell our AD to vote on. I think it's amendment. I don't know, 40 or 60. To vote on the shot clock. So I know we've talked about that some, and it's always kind of a topic of conversation. And so it looks like we're getting a little bit closer. And I know they sent out surveys from all the coaches from 7A down, and I think just about all of them, it was pretty. It was a high number of yeses for it and a low number of no's. So will it pass and will it do? I don't know, but we're a little bit closer than what I guess before all this we were.
So you would say that the reason it's not already in effect is because of the cost?
I don't know that. I think it's just something that's such a big, I guess, deal. But I do think cost does have a lot to do with it, because I see ADs a lot of times on Twitter, and they'll reply to whatever it is talking about it, and then going on about, well, who's going to pay for it? How are we going to who's going to work it during games? Are we going to have to pay them like we would an official that keeps the clock? Do you get what do you reset? So there's a ton of questions and a ton of different things, and it is also an added expense. But it looks like we're going to try to possibly go down that route maybe next year. So.
Business idea if any of y'all want to hit this
up.
up. I do think a way for high school sports to generate a ton of revenue, and there's not this out there, is not the NFHS, but is to get schools to live stream and make it almost like a mini college type thing where all their sports are streamed live. And there will be companies that pay for packages, nationwide companies that would pay for advertisement. Now they understand there's only going to be 100 viewers in that game, but they're paying for a package of, So I think that's a way for high schools to eventually generate a revenue, and I think the AHS Sports Network is going to be trying to do that. So if you hear from Heath Haney or Coach Snyder or Will Jarrett, about that, help us out.
Would we be able to use that camera for video reviews, playbacks?
Well,
official reviews?
Yes, actually, in football, you can use whatever camera you want, but you have to use the state's little. It's the same that colleges use, and it's like $3,000-$4,000, and not very many schools have signed up to use it. It's DS Sports. So there is instant replay in high school football. You can throw a red flag, but the school has to purchase it for like $3 or $4 grand. And then generally high school cameras aren't SEC cameras, so you don't have a good enough view to really overturn it. So, but the financial falls of the world, man. So it's election year. So gas will go down here shortly, so y'all be ready. Everything will get real cheap for a hell of a while till the election's over.
COVID's back.
Oh, COVID.
All right, let's keep the train on the tracks.
Okay. All right. Any closing thoughts before we get out of here this week?
I'm taking my 3-year-old Tuesday and gonna let her run on the field for youth night. I think you got to have a team, but I'm probably gonna take my kid out there and let her run out there with the other girls.
I hear you. Ain't nothing gonna be wrong with that. Let her run out there, man.
I look forward to next Sunday night when we're all sitting here talking about how in the world the Tide won the SEC championship.
Heck, we'll have a bracket. We'll have a bracket this time next week.
We will. We'll have a bracket.
I won't be able to have one filled out by now.
It's a good time. It's a great time of the year.
I'm going to imagine that next week will be a 2-topic show. It'll be the AHS Sports Recap and the NCAA tournament, if I had to imagine.
And the new basketball areas.
Oh, they're coming out this week, the 15th. Yep. What day? The 11th?
I thought it was Tuesday.
I think it's Thursday.
Thursday, the 14th. That's right, the 14th.
Yeah. So basketball will have a new area.
The 14th, another freshman doubleheader.
Let's
at
go.
Lindsay Lane.
I heard there's works of adding another doubleheader here soon also.
Hey, don't you worry, Coach South. We got one Saturday at home versus Grissom, 11-1. Look forward to seeing you there.
Hey,
I'll be there, buddy.
I think Coach King's got that one locked down. So,
Well, I'll probably be watching the SEC basketball tournament.
I'm going to venture to say Wales, if Alabama's playing, probably will find a way to.
Wales may make it
Nah.
by itself if they're playing.
I'm locked in, boys.
All right. I know that a lot of you out there have asked about Coach Ball, so I mentioned Coach King. Made me think of him. He is getting a little better. He has a doctor appointment this week. That's about all I know. He's starting to feel a little better, and he has a doctor's appointment this week. So keep Coach Ball in your prayers, please, as he deals with his issues. All right, guys. I appreciate y'all joining us. That's all I got. Anybody else got anything else?
Roll Tide.
Roll Tide.
Roll Tide.
Go ahead, O'Donnell.
Roll Tide.
Well,
I thought Lydia wasn't going to let him say it for a minute.
Boys.
We're supposed to be off this thing at 10:05. I've gone 2 minutes over. So.
I don't give a
it's
piss
not
about
good.
nothing but the Tigers, boys. That's all I got to say. And
We went
Leave it to
over this
Auburn,
week.
trying to piggyback
hey,
somebody
right
else's
here,
thing.
right there, baby. Leave him right there.
I will say
we
that
went
is
over-
a really – I like that logo.
Yes,
I
sir.
like the I don't like Auburn, but that's a pretty good logo.
Yes,
I'm a
sir.
logo guy.
O'Donnell, shut up.
Hey,
You're not the first person to say that tonight.
hey. The Eagles will fly. That's all I got to say. Anyways, that's all we got on Coaches Banter. Until next week, we appreciate you. God bless. And as always, Tiger up.
Tiger.